Oh, there he is. Let me tell you something about Belal Muhammad. I saw the guy 10 times. Didn't even say hello. Then the next time I see him, I have the shirt on with you and Florian. Hey, can I take a picture? I go, you want the picture for the goddamn shirt. It doesn't even have nothing to do with me.
He knows where his bread is buttered.
Anyway,
hey, Ray.
Belal, great fight. Really great fight, man. Unbelievable. Here's a guy that backs up what he says. You got to love him.
Hey, I think Bully's on mute. Yeah, Belal's on mute.
I think everybody's on mute.
Sorry, my bad. Thank you, Coach. Appreciate you. That really means a lot coming from you. Thank you so much.
And a really, really good fight against a really tough guy. So awesome
appreciate
stuff.
You, brother.
Hey, Ray, I'm not going to cuss in Belal's presence, but go take care of your fucking dog, and we'll talk to you on Monday, okay?
This could be a bloodbath. I'll see you guys.
Thank you, buddy.
Thanks for everything, and congrats again, John. And congrats, Belal.
Thank you.
Awesome. All right.
See you, Ray. Congrats, Coach.
All right, thanks, Kenny.
All right, so on behalf of the Anik and Florian podcast, I would like to apologize for that fucking dog that just sabotaged our live episode for the last 30 minutes. Now joining us, I don't know what the number is now, number 3, number 4 UFC welterweight contender. I think it's 4. Belal, remember the name Muhammad, back in the United States of America. Successful 5-week jaunt to the United Arab Emirates. It's welcome home, buddy. Congrats on a big one.
Thank you, brother. Man, jet lag's killing me right now, but it was worth it. For that 5 weeks was worth it. It's painful right now, but it's all right.
So I know KenFlo has a lot that he wants to get into in terms of the fight, but I guess let's just start there and break down the fight, and then we'll have some fun with you on the back end, see how well you know your hometown Chicago Bears and some other things. But in terms of your preparation, right, and some fighters would deflect and just say, I'm focused on myself. But was there any particular area of focus for Sean, or anything particularly concerning about Sean Brady that you were mindful of more than other things going into that fight?
The biggest thing was not allowing him to push me on the fence. Obviously, every single person that had faced him or that I've known that's met him or trained with him, oh, he's the strongest guy you're ever going to go with. He's the strongest guy you're ever going to go with. Jared Gordon, who I know, my boy, who shout out to Jared, who came down to train with me, he was telling me, like, bro, I'm telling you right now, just put it in your head, this is the strongest guy you're ever going to go with. I'm like, bro, like, I'm not worried about strength or anything. He's like, trust me, dude. Trust me, he is. I'm just letting you know so you don't get surprised in there. So it's like everybody building him up to be this monster that's just a Hulk. So that was my biggest thing, is training with these Dagestanis. Everybody's like, oh, man, you're going to go in there wrestling. I didn't use it for offensive wrestling. I used it for defensive wrestling, because every single one of those guys is so good offensively that I was like, all right, well, I know I'm better than Sean Brady standing up. So I'm like, I want to keep this fight on the feet, and I don't want him to be where he's comfortable, and that's in a grappling situation. So I'm like, I'll use my defensive wrestling and just keep it standing the whole time, and it worked.
I know your podcast is coming up in about 20 minutes here on the channel, so I don't want to steal too much of that thunder, but was just dying to have a few minutes with you after, obviously, another big win. One thing you said to us in the fighter meeting, you talked about leveling up, and you've had all these training camps for all of these different stylistic challenges, Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, Damian Maia, and I think we can, as fans, look at how much you've leveled up as a striker in other ways. In terms of like the strength and conditioning, right? It just seems like you've steadfastly built this cardiovascular base and been so married to the game for so long now, right? It's like, I don't even know things about your personal life. And if I got married next weekend, you might be a fucking groomsman. Like, we're close, and yet I don't even know about that stuff. So how do you quantify in your own mind the extent to which you've sort of leveled up as a whole?
I think just from the beginning of my UFC tenure till now, it's like I've been through the ups and the downs. You learn a lot from losses, but I'm a guy that learns a lot from wins. Even with this win right here, we're looking at stuff that we did wrong in there. Why did we get caught with this? Why did we get caught with that? Training with the guys that I train with now for this camp, it was like I was on an 8-fight winning streak. I didn't need to go look for a different team or train with Khabib and them. Like I was doing everything right, obviously, because I kept winning. So, but I want to just keep getting better, because in this game, once you tell yourself that you're good enough or you're at the top and you're comfortable there, that's when all these other guys come and beat you. And now training with these Khabib's team and seeing how good a lot of these young guys are, that people don't even know their name, but they've been wrestling since they were like 2 years old, and they're out here killing me. And I'm like, who the heck is this guy? Like, he's not even in the UFC. And I said, what's your age? Oh, I'm 19 years old and I'm freaking fighting on this amateur show. And I'm like, oh, okay. Well, that just tells me that like I still have a lot of more learning to do. Like Lou made a quote today in one of his shows, and he was like, shout out to Lou Taylor. He was like, we drowned a lot this camp. We still can't swim. We're doggy paddling now, but like I want to get a little bit more time with him so I can at least learn to swim some laps. Like we still got so much to learn from these guys, and I'm just happy that they brought us in there that much and they allowed us to join them like that.
You can tell Lewis Taylor has a little bit of post-traumatic stress disorder from this training camp. I can tell his social media voice suggests that he worked very hard helping you prepare for.
Like we've been through it all. Like for him, leaving your family for 5 weeks. His family had a family vacation. They went to the Caribbean, and like he has 2 young daughters, and he's a guy that's always been with them at all times, taking them to practices, games, everything. So the fact that he was able to willing to do that with me, that's my brother for life. And like I said, he's a champion. He won $1 million. He retired. He doesn't need to do that, but he wants to see me reach my goals because he brought me into this sport and he wants to see me reach the pinnacle of it. And we're going to do that together. And it just feels, when we're looking at our journey, we're sitting on the airplane on a 16-hour flight. We're like, bro, just thinking back to where we were and where we are now, it's crazy.
Well, thinking about going into the Stephen Wonderboy Thompson fight, I think a lot of us supporters from afar knew you could be good, but, then you start to think, man, could this guy actually run the table and be the world champion? And, certainly we share your belief right now. One thing I said on our show, and I want to allow Kenny to get in here while we have a good signal with him, but just as Khabib Nurmagomedov enters this like egoless corner, right? Lewis Taylor and Mike Valley, right? They're not here for hardware or for trophies unless it's a UFC title belt, right? They don't get sensitive when you put Khabib over in the post-fight interview, right? When you talk about him instinctively telling you to go for the finish. It just seemed to be a perfect blend. And I know Kenny and I were both curious to see how you're going to navigate that going forward. I know Khabib is a man who's wanted by a lot of different people, but I would imagine it is your desire that you would continue with the mix you had this past weekend.
Yeah, honestly, it was like a perfect mixture because, like you said, like Lou and Mike Valley, neither one of them have an ego at all. Neither one of them are the type to be like, why is he talking louder than me, or why does he get credit or that? No, it's like all of us had the same goal. Mike Valley was willing to come down with me for 5 weeks as well. He's like, yeah, I'll come down, whatever you want. None of these other guys got to fight. I'm like, bro, you have a gym to run. It's cool. I'll let you know if I go down there and I don't like the way it's going, then you'll come down with me early. But other than that, like, you don't need to come down that early. I know you have a gym, a business to run, so do that. So that's why I love these guys, because my circle, my team, they all want to see me succeed. And yeah, man, we're already looking at going down to Dagestan in March to train with these guys. Every single one of the Russians that we met, trained with, they're like, oh, you got to come down. You got to come down. You got to come down. Habib's like, come down. I got you. It's all taken care of. So they're coming down to Chicago actually in November for Usman Bellator fight for the title. So we're going to get a little bit more time with them then. And then, we're trying to bring the whole team down there in March to train with all those guys.
Belal, I want to talk about like the technical side of things of what you got out of training with Khabib and his team. I know you mentioned the spiritual side and how that's helped you. I do think there's an element to that can help take, that warrior mindset to another level. Is that what you were talking about? Is how that helped you? How did that connect with you? And then I want to talk about the technical side of things as far as what they were doing for training. Yeah,
like on the spiritual side, it's like they're very devout Muslims, and in America we're devout Muslims, but like where they are, it's different because I'm in a team full of like Latino Americans, we're Christians, so like we don't have the same beliefs and religion. So, but when I'm with these guys, every single one of them has the same belief as me, and they're telling me I'm learning new things from them all the time, and just their fight mindset. For me, obviously, like you get a little bit of stress. You get like, oh man, you get a little bit nervous for the fights. But for them, when Habib's telling you like God's plan's already written, that's it. You already put the work in. There's nothing else to worry about. And then you see Islam in the back texting and joking and all. Like they're like, I'm like, bro, are we about to fight right now or what's going on? But it just like lowered my mood a little bit because it just chilled me out. Because I'm like, this guy's having the fighting for the title and he's fighting Oliveira, who's on a crazy tear right now. And I'm like, if he's that relaxed, all right, maybe I need to be relaxed and chill a little bit. And, you know, sometimes when you see somebody smiling, it just like calms your nerves a little bit. That's what it did for me a lot of the time too, because all these guys were just like in the back joking around. And it was just crazy like that.
On a technical side or maybe drill side, sparring side, are they doing things that are vastly different from what you and other teams are doing, do you think?
I think what they do differently, I mean, there's nothing special about it, but it's hard work. There's every day is either we're sparring, and then after your 3 rounds of sparring, you're going 5 rounds of grappling. And they're 5 rounds of grappling. Then Khabib's calling me in the cage, and he's putting me on cage work where he's taking me down on the cage. And like, there's no time limit when you're in the cage with him. It's like, I'm like, no, the bell just rang, and he's just going until I either get up or like I drown. And for me, I was like, I'm not going to break with him on top of me. I'm not going to do that. Like, I don't want to look bad, but I just went 3 rounds of hard sparring, then 5 rounds of rolling. And then Khabib is just coaching. And then now he's ready to put his freaking shorts on. He's like, all right, let's get in the cage. Now it's me and you. And I'm like, bro, I just did this, and this. What are you talking about? And then Islam's looking at me like, yes, he does not know he doesn't know tired. He doesn't train no more. He doesn't know what tired is. And I'm like, bro, like, what do I do? He's like, go in the cage, brother. Go in the cage. And I was like, all right. And then literally, Lou posted a video, and it was like Khabib mounting me. And Lou was just like, man, it's like watching your baby drowning, and I can't go in there because I don't know how to swim. And I was like, bro, please, like, help me. But mentally, it just helped me because it was like, there's breaking points. And if you get past those breaking points, you know that there's nobody in the cage that's going to put you in those positions that you were just in with these guys. And also, like, technically with these guys, like Islam, for every count, like I have very good takedown defense. And just to see what his counters to my counters were, it's like, dang, I didn't even know that was possible. Because Islam's like a computer where he sees, oh, you think that's gonna work on me? Nah. And then he'll just adjust it to something else. So then that made me go, oh, dang, that's possible. And I'm like, it's crazy to see like the moves that they have.
What's it like? Can you explain what it's like to roll with Khabib and Islam? Like, what level are they at? Have you experienced anything like that? What are they doing that's special? Is it their heaviness? Are they just constantly move? Like, what's it like? What is it?
Well, for one thing I learned from all of them is like, there's not a flow roll. There's not a, sometimes when you go with, when you go with somebody new and you're like, oh, let me go with this person. Let's shake hands and I'll play guard a little bit. And flow roll a little bit. There's none of that there. Like, if you go with one of them, they're holding you down. They're not playing off their back at all. It's to get up. Like, it's MMA jiu-jitsu. Like, you get off the ground. If you're on your back, you're losing. And I'm trying to play guard and everything. And I'm like, dang, 5 minutes is up and I didn't do nothing. And then they're looking at me like, bro, you just lost that round. You just lost. What are you doing? Get up. And at the end of every practice, Khabib's calling you out. Like, we're all sitting down and he's calling you out. Like, yo, you did this wrong. In a sparring match, it'll be like two guys like, yo, you got better striking than him. He got better striking than you. Why are you striking with him, moron? Take him down. The goal is to win. I don't care if it's sparring or I don't care if it's the fight. The goal is to win. So going with those guys and, I'm getting yelled at the first 4 or 5 days because I'm trying to play guard. He's like, look at you. You just lost every single round these first 4 or 5 days because you're trying to play guard. It's not jiu-jitsu. Brother, this is getting up. This is MMA. Get to your feet or get on top. So just that mindset change. And then also the difference between them two is like Khabib wants to drown you and he wants you to like mentally break. Islam like has a heart a little bit. Like, he'll tap you out. He'll be like, all right, you know what? Your arm's there dangling. Let me get you in a Kimura. Like, Khabib, you see your arm dangling? Nah. I'm gonna mount you right now. I want you to mentally break. So that's the difference between them two. It's crazy.
I love it. No, I think people are going to really enjoy hearing all of that insight. Cool. And again, plenty more coming up with Belal here at the bottom of the hour. I rewatched the fight. I thought your post-fight interview was fantastic, just in terms of acknowledging that, whether it's now or later, we're going to have to pass the Sean Brady test. It's circumstances here that you take his O. And there's a famous saying, to the victor go the spoils, right? And if you are to, on a platform, take on the entire city of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, you kind of got to win the fight, and winning it by knockout, I guess, makes it a little bit sweeter. It was sort of an interesting backdrop to the fight. Now, you guys were supposed to fight in December of 2020, I guess, at one point. But obviously, since that point in time, you have become main event Muhammad and beaten guys in the top 5. You were fighting down in the rankings here. There was a lot to this fight, and maybe you took exception to the way he called for this fight. Whatever it was, some people suggested we saw a side of you that we had not seen before. And I don't know if we had seen it before or not. I know that you can have an edge to you, but you sure as fuck were able to channel it in the right way. It's got to feel good when you talk the talk, as a humble man that you are, to walk the walk like that. It's got to feel pretty good to be able to do that and perform.
Yeah, like you said, the way he called it out, the way he was, and then I had so many of his friends and cousins in my DMs like, "Stop being scared, take the fight. You're a coward." This, and this.
Right.
And I'm looking at it like, bro, are you guys serious right now? So like, yeah, it pissed me off, especially coming off of like fighting 3 of like the nicest guys in the world, and Damian Maia, Wonder Boy, and Luke. Like none of them guys gave you anything to like want to come at them for. So fighting a guy that actually did, and then talk trash to you a little bit, and I just felt disrespected by the UFC in general, because I'm like, bro, I just fought number 5 twice, beat number 5 twice. Why am I going downward now? And I just felt like they don't want to push me. So I was like, you know what? I got to go out there, and I got to go out there and show them my worth. And I feel like I did that.
You most certainly did that. You got the bonus, and we're in the business of handing out money right now. So before we let you go, we basically have a $1,000 proposition. It's KenFlo's money, essentially, right? So essentially, if you right now can predict who your next opponent is going to be, Anik and Florian LLC is going to cut you a check for $1,000 the night you guys both make that walk. So we're not talking bout agreements, fight falls off on weigh-in day, right? It's our best way to get an honest answer as to who you really think the promotion is going to give you next, because the list gets shorter as you continue to pluck off contenders. So for $1,000, again, you lose no money in this exchange. We just want to know who you think they're going to match you up with next, because obviously it's going to be a big name.
Who I think I'm going to walk out to the cage and actually fight is Khamzat Chimaev. I think that they're talking about, I don't think Kobe's going to fight him. I think me and him make the most sense. I've been calling for that fight forever. I think that one's the one to do, especially on a co-main event under Usman and Leon.
I absolutely love it. I got chills. I'm very excited. We're so proud of you. You're an easy guy to root for, man. You've worked so hard for this, and just couldn't happen to a better dude, man. All the ducks are aligned. What'd you get room service night of the fight? I saw some stuff outside the room. Did you guys eat well?
Bro, it was terrible. First, because like I didn't realize it was that late. It was like 4 a.m. Once we got back to the hotel. So then I told my brother and them were at the hotel. I was like, get pizza, get wings. I don't know where they got pizza and wings from. It was like the most, it was like wasted calories. Like the next day I woke up, I was like, bro, this is so bad right now. And I was like angry that I ate that stuff, but I'm a dessert guy anyway. I had a bunch of people bring me cookies and stuff. So I was happy with that.
Yeah, we had a hard time getting food, but that is neither here nor there. Congratulations, man. Enjoy it. We know the grind continues, but have a great show tonight. And, we appreciate you repping the hell out of the channel the way you do, my man. What a fucking stud. Great job.
Always, my brother. And congrats to you, brother. Best in the game.
Thank you, buddy. Appreciate it.
All right, guys. Love you guys.
There he is. Love you too. The number 4 ranked UFC welterweight contender, Belal. Remember the name, Muhammad. It's a big win, man, and the list really does get shorter. If you don't believe that Colby Covington and Khamzat Chimaev are going to fight, that's the fight. And it's under Kamaru and Leon, and God willing, it happens in the UK, where we haven't done a pay-per-view since Hendo and Bisping Act 2. Big things for Bully. You know? I mean, KenFlo, like, I feel like when
he's earned it, man.
I feel like when we started his show, maybe he was like number 20 in the world or whatever, Cody would know better, probably around there, but very good stuff. All right, KenFlo's back to BattleBots duty on the West Coast. We are back in our regular slots Sunday, Monday. We will recap UFC Fight Night, Calvin Kattar versus Arnold Almighty Allen, and anything coming out the backside on UFC 280 as well. Thanks for indulging us with the live episode. Don't forget, bottom of the hour, Belal Muhammad, Jon Anik, Remember the Show, live every Thursday on this very channel. And again, thanks everybody for checking us out. We will talk to you in a few short days in the regular slot. Until then, Yo, fucking later.